Hey, Michelle, it's so nice to have you on the show today. How are you doing? Beautiful. And thank you too so very much for being here. You see, just like I mentioned earlier, I truly appreciate it. And you see, Michelle, oftentimes I love to thank my guest for two things. All right. And I do this so often to the point where it has become my anthem. So, firstly, I want to say thank you so very much, Michelle, for investing in yourself. You see, you are on this platform right now because you invested in yourself. And oftentimes, Michelle, I love to make reference to the amazing mango tree. You see, some months back, I was on a particular road, and just by the roadside, there was this tall, unattractive mango tree. And I use the word unattractive because the mango tree's got no mangoes on it, and the leaves were all dry. So I just walked past it and I went my way. But you see, just recently, Michelle, I was on that same road. And this time around, a lot's changed about the mango tree. You see, the mango tree caught my attention pretty good from a distance. And immediately I got the urge to move so close to it, of which I did, and it wowed me. Because now the mango tree's got a lot of mangoes on it, beautiful green leaves and healthy branches, and not just mangoes now, but ripe mangoes. It was a beautiful moment that day. I was so excited, a special one at that. I was really excited. Here is my point. The fact that you dedicated your time, energy, and resources to becoming the amazing material that you are today, that alone has made it really impossible for me to skip you. And that's why you see you got the request for me to be on the show because I was attracted to the fruit of all that you're doing, your solutions, how you're offering your solutions, and the impact your work is having, your insights, your philosophies. The stuffs are amazing. And just before you got the request for me, I said to myself, I've got to benefit from these beautiful things Michelle is doing. Not only me now, but even the audience. And here we are today with the amazing Michelle. So thank you so very much for investing in yourself. And secondly, thank you for saying yes to the invite. Because if you had said nope, there was nothing Elisha could do about it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here.
Beautiful. So let's get started. You see, I'm quite excited to have you on the show as well, but for, let's say, two reasons. Firstly, my interest in knowledge seeking. I believe in order for one to transition from a terrible situation to that of a beautiful one, Michelle, I believe it takes the application of knowledge, quality information, and not just knowledge now, but the application of it. And you see, Michelle, ever since I discovered that light in the Hebrew means knowledge and darkness means ignorance, I've been so keen to knowledge seeking because I do not want to remain in the dark. So that's going to make our conversation today very important to me and even to the listeners. And the second reason why I'm excited to have the amazing Michelle on the show is for the sake of the audience. They say, Michelle, we live in an age where information is as abundant as grains of sand. We've got lots of information flying out there. So these folks trust me for quality, eye-opening, and very important information, of which I am totally convinced, Michelle, that our conversation is going to be insightful and impactful. So for that reason, let's get started with your introduction. Talk to us about your personal or professional journey, because right now we're so curious. We want to know how Michelle got here. Then afterwards, I've gotten some beautiful questions for you. Okay, Michelle, over to you.
Okay, well, that is really interesting that you said that about learning because that's one of my personal mottos is to always be learning. I think that's really what keeps us going in life. That's how we keep improving in life. And I hope that it helps to keep the brain young and things like that so that we can age well and gracefully. Um, for me personally, if you were to ask uh, the average person, I guess they'd say Michelle's a little bit of a writing geek, a tech geek, um, a dedicated mom, even though I'm now an empty nester mom. Uh, very focused on career and business throughout my adult years, and a little bit of a dreamer. I think we may have lost connection.
Okay, there we go. Sorry, my network went off.
That happens more than you would imagine.
I tell you. Okay, so I didn't get the last part. Can you refresh my memory? The network didn't hear me. Let me get the last part.
No worries. I was basically just saying that a lot of people would say that I'm a bit of a tech geek, a writing geek, a dedicated mom, even though I'm an empty nester now, and really focused on career and business throughout my adult life.
Got it, got it. Okay, so let's talk about the business aspect. So why should business leaders consider?
Well, I'm going to back up just a little bit and talk about why writing a book in general is important, not just for business leaders. First of all, I think that we all have stories, unique stories that need to be told. And part of my personal mission has been to share or help people share their stories, rather, so that we can see that we're more alike than we are different. I think that that's just something I can do in my little corner of the world to help kind of fight against some of this division. That fight is a terrible way to combat or deal with some of this division we've been seeing, particularly here in the US. So that's one of my personal missions. And I think that writing a book helps with that. Now, for business leaders in particular, this is really valuable because it serves a couple of purposes. One, it establishes you as a thought leader in your industry. I mean, you've got your unique way of doing what you do, even if you do the same thing that someone else does. Your approach is going to be different, and you can bring new ideas to the marketplace and help other people with those ideas. So that's really important. Also, it serves as a calling card. I mean, writing a book gives you a certain amount of credibility in your business field. That's the thought leadership piece. And it's like the best business card there is. People lose business cards. People don't lose books. They're either in their library, their personal library, or they're on their app. So you always stay top of mind. So I think that's really important for business people in particular. But really, we all have beautiful stories that can be shared. Maybe not in an entire book, maybe in a book of essays. Everyone has something that they can teach and share, and we can all learn from one another. And books are a valuable way to do that.
Books are a valuable way to do that. I got that. So what are the three keys to writing a successful book?
I think probably the most important thing is to really know what you're writing about. And I don't mean that as in, like in the case of fiction, you want to write a book set in Paris. You can research things about Paris. You can learn about Paris. These days, you can do virtual tours of Paris, right? That's not really what I mean. What I mean is really kind of digging deep, whether it's fiction, digging deep into your characters, digging deep into the relationships. If it's memoir, same thing, being willing to be vulnerable, willing to dig deep to share that story that needs to come out. Because ultimately, even if it's a business book, these books are all about relationships, whether it's a personal relationship, whether it's a business relationship, whether it's a relationship with nature, whether it's a relationship with technology, whether it's a relationship with other people. All ultimately is about relationships. And you have to be willing to be vulnerable, dig deep in order to really convey what is valuable and what's necessary for people to take away. So that's the biggest thing. The next thing is then to make sure you've gathered up a team. That team is going to consist of people like editors, book designers for interior and the cover, marketing folks, people to help you, especially if you just want to write. Let's say that you're a nurse and you want to write a book having to do with the things that you've learned in your nursing career. Well, you may not know about websites and SEO and social media marketing and all that. So that's why it's important to pull together a team that you can work with to help you move your book through that process of publishing and getting an audience, marketing your book. Those are the two most important things. After that, I think it's you being willing to put yourself out there.
Willing to put yourself out there. You're such a great teacher, I tell you. You explain it in such a way that it'll be very easy to understand. So let us talk about you now. How did you decide to start?
Well, I was actually this is a new version of the business. I started in 2012. I started a company called Urban Book Editor. And that was because I was a volunteer reviewer for a website called the Urban Book Source. And they would send me 3 to 5 books every month. And I would read the books and then write reviews for their website. I even had my little 5-star system and everything. And I found myself at the end of each review or most reviews saying, edit, edit, edit. And that's when I said after a little while, well, Michelle, stop being part of the problem by complaining. Instead, offer a solution. Maybe these authors aren't editing their books well because they don't have an affordable option. So I started Urban Book Editor. And then around just before the pandemic, actually, I want to say 2018-ish, 2019-ish, I changed to Michele Barard LLC because I found that over time I was doing more than just editing books. I was helping with websites because I have a tech background. Uh, I was helping with marketing and things of that nature, helping people actually publish their books as well. So because of that, I changed the name of the company, and now I serve more in the marketing and website and all of those capacities.
Amazing. Wow, that's profound how you discovered your path. I love that. Okay, so what challenges have you experienced, as a black woman business owner, and how did you overcome the
Well, one of the biggest challenges, I think, for most business owners, Black business owners in particular, and I can't speak for anywhere else except the United States. And I know that you have a worldwide audience, so I want to frame that to begin with. But one of the things is we tend to be undercapitalized. We're often bootstrapping things, and it's hard to grow a business when you don't have capital. So that's one of the challenges that I have personally faced. I know other business people, Black business people, have faced that issue, and women have faced that issue with undercapitalization. There's research that shows, for example, that women in tech get very small percentages of the amount of angel investment dollars out there. So you can extrapolate that out to other lines of business, other areas of business. So that's one of the biggest challenges. Another thing is I work with self-published authors mostly, and that means that self-published authors are financing their own projects. So sometimes it's hard for folks to kind of keep their projects on track from a financial standpoint. I mean, you got to pay the light bill before you pay your editor, right? You got to pay the gas bill before you pay the layout designer. So our projects tend to last a lot longer, and that puts a lot of pressure from a cash flow perspective on businesses.
got it? So you also mentioned being in tech, and I'm curious, what tech tools can help market one?
Yeah. So there are a lot of tools that you can use. I mean, I used to be a Microsoft instructor many, many, many moons ago. So I am partial to the Microsoft tools. Um, I know a lot of people these days like Google, the Google apps, but I am a big fan of the Microsoft tools. They're very stable. They've been around for what, 50 years now, I think, almost 50 years, something like that. Reliable company. They put a lot of effort, I think, into security. So that's my personal preference. A lot of people use Google apps. Those are fine as well. You're going to need a way that you can create documents and just have all your information that you need in one place. And if you can't do anything else, you can always use a doc file or a Word file. You can use a spreadsheet. If you're putting together proposals and things of that nature for your clients, those are tools that you're going to want. You want something like a presentation tool. So both of those app sets come with those. So that's the bare minimum that you would want. I also recommend, if you take appointments, not trying to manage that via email. Go ahead and take advantage of some of this great technology that's out there. Like, I use Acuity Scheduling to get my calendar filled up with appointments. It can link straight to my calendar. People can see my availability. I can set when I'm available. I can block off time out. Other people use Calendly. That's a great tool as well. And TidyCal is another one. There's so many of these. Book Like a Boss. There are lots of great tools out there that you can use. And the reason is, going back and forth with clients. Are you available this date and this time? No, I'm not available. I can do this date and this time. It's frustrating for all parties involved, and it wastes a lot of time when a lot of getting clients is really being available. So, being ready and able to talk to them. So if they can see your availability right away, that helps a lot. Also, spend time
Thank
with your website. It does. I know a lot of people love WordPress. Great tool. I've used it in the past myself. It is also one of those tools that I stay away from as much as possible now because of the need to constantly update plugins and things like that. So if you don't want to deal with all of that tech stuff, get someone to help you, or get a simpler tool that you can use that doesn't require you to do that. They have people behind the scenes doing that. Those would be my top 3 things.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, so we still have some questions here. All right. You started your business while working full time and raising 3 kids. How did you get it all done?
I really had to focus on organization. The main reason, we were living in the Atlanta metro area. So if anybody is familiar with Atlanta, it is not a sleepy southern town. It is a big old giant city with lots of traffic. And at one point, I had 3 kids at 3 different schools. And so that could mean my afternoon commute could be as long as 2.5 hours sometimes. So it was important for us to figure out a good schedule and for me to get everything done. So I would do things like cook all day on Sunday. I'd make my groceries early in the morning on Sunday. And then I would spend the day cooking the main portion of our meals so that when we came back after school and work during the week, all I had to do was put together a salad or a vegetable or something like that. Dinner was ready quickly and we could eat, get everybody's homework done, get everybody some entertainment time or hanging out as a family time. And then I could get back to work after the little ones went to sleep. That was absolutely key. And the other thing was, I lived and died by my calendar. So I trained my children early on. If anything was coming up, they had to make sure it got into my calendar. If it's not in my calendar, it doesn't exist. I can't be in 3 places at once. So those 2 things in particular were extremely important because it allowed me to plan, to have more time in the evenings so that after my youngest went to bed, then I could go ahead and get to work on my business, say at 9:30 or 10 o'clock at night, work until midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, and then get up and start all over again.
Awesome, Michelle. That's what's the word? Should I say smart and wise? Wow. Uh, so to bring this to an end, what would you like to leave the audience with, like a thought? And to those folks who would like to reach out to you, learn more about everything we've discussed so far, or would love to make a purchase of your resources or inquiry, something like that, how can
Well, first, Elisha, let me thank you for having me on the show. This has been a fun conversation. I appreciate you giving me an opportunity to talk with you and your audience. And you make me feel really special. Uh, like I'm much
yes,
smarter than I You make me sound smarter than I think I am. So there's that. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I did want to offer a special gift to any of your authors who are out there thinking about working on a book or who have a book out there that maybe are having some challenges with marketing. And really, this is not just for books. The course is focused on books, but this mini course that I want to offer as a free gift actually applies to just any kind of marketing that you're doing. So I have a special link, if you don't mind, to share with your audience. It's bit.ly, that's bit.ly/MPB Witnesses. And that's for the marketing plan blueprint mini course. And that's just a free gift for your audience. And I really appreciate you for
That's so
letting me. But they can also contact me at my website, michelebarard.com. That's MicheleBarard.com. And they can find me on all the social medias as Urban Book Editor.
beautiful, beautiful. So, any final thought?
Well, I'm going to just say again, thank you so much. And I hope that your audience loves learning as much as you do, because that's really, I think, the key to getting through life is learning and growing and just continuing to share and pass that forward.
Exactly, learning and growing. I love that. So that's gonna be the end of the show, Michelle. Thank you for coming and thank you for sharing this beautiful stuff with us. It means a whole